In this video, how I keep the display on all my mobile devices nice and clean. Welcome back to my channel, guys, and in this video I'm going to share a couple of simple, easy, affordable ways that I use to keep my cell phone, tablets, computer screens, basically all my mobile devices that I may or may not take with me on trips, how I keep them clean. And I'll give you an example. If you've ever wiped down your cell phone display with your shirt or maybe a very cheap paper towel, you'll notice that sometimes napkins and cheap paper towels, etc., they'll leave a little bit of a residue of small hairs and fibers that can almost make your display look worse than before you cleaned it. So one of the ways that you could avoid that is to get something specifically designed for wiping down displays that doesn't leave a residue, and that is the microfiber cloth. The microfiber cloth that I have here is available in some stores. I don't always see them available, but they're out there. But you could also find them online very easily, so not hard to find at all. But just be careful that you get the ones that are microfiber. And this particular type that I have in my hand, this is just inexpensive 4-pack that I use. When I wipe down my cell phone displays, I don't see any residue. I don't see any hairs, no microfibers or anything like that. So when I wipe, it's clean and stays clean. The other thing that these microfiber cloths are good for is avoiding scratches. Some other materials that are present in other type of cloths that are not designed for this purpose, or maybe using a paper towel or maybe a shirt that maybe has little indentations or imprints of different things that could be a hard material and not friendly to your display, and is that this won't scratch your display because this doesn't have that. This is actually constructed of a very soft material that I like a lot, guys. It's so soft, doesn't leave a residue, and it's very soft so that you can be fairly confident that you won't have any scratches. Now I say fairly confident because you have to know how to use them. Be very careful, as with any time that you wipe down the display, that you don't have any visible hard particles or pieces of dust that could, or obviously any little rocks, that could damage the display when you rub this microfiber cloth up against the display and potentially press those pieces, those little particles against the display and scratch it. So even though the microfiber cloth itself does not have anything hard in it, if you have something in between this and the display, or something's on the display, if you press against it, obviously at that point you run the risk of scratching. So just be careful there. The other thing that I use, guys, get rid of that. The other thing that I use is basically a spray. Now you could find different sprays that are available, basically in every store, and the ones that I like the most are the ones that I could use for multi-purpose stuff. So I know that there are some sprays out there that are available for cleaning specifically displays, computer stuff, your television screen, and I've owned those in the past and they work well. But typically I like to now buy things that kind of like are multi-purpose that I could use for everything around the house. So I like to buy just Windex. So nothing special, Windex. Now, the good thing about Windex is that it's available everywhere. Sometimes some of those display cleaning fluids, sprays, are hard to find. You can only get them in certain specialty stores or office stores or online. But the Windex you can pretty much find in any grocery store. So another thing to keep in mind about Windex, though, you have to know how to use it and which to buy. Same thing applies. Be careful when you spray it that you don't have any loose particles of dust when you start wiping that down, because you could scratch the display. And don't use the microfiber cloth to spray to wipe down the display when you use this spray. Not necessary. Just use a regular good quality paper towel like Bounty. So I recommend Bounty as a good paper towel to use, guys. It is one of the paper towels that doesn't leave a lot of residue. It's not as good as a microfiber, but if you use a brand new sheet and you use the regular Bounty, the good Bounty, I know it's a little more expensive than some of the generic brands, but Bounty paper towel is awesome, and it leaves the least amount of residue of little hairs of any other paper towel that I've come across. And as far as like which Windex to buy the Windex that is streak free. Now, the one that I'm talking about here, it actually says streak free on the front. And that's important because they have a little chemical inside, some type of chemical that helps to avoid streaking. Really, they all do, honestly, but this is going to provide a little bit of extra protection, and I have found that this actually works better than some of the generic brands. Just a little bit better, a little bit more quality, and it doesn't cost a lot more money than the generic brands. The other thing that you should look out for regarding Windex is to don't get Windex that has any kind of detergent, any kind of bleach or whitening material, nothing crazy like that, and make sure that it doesn't have any ammonia. So this particular Windex actually says on the front, ammonia free. And the reason that's important, guys, is that you don't want to damage your screen. Just regular Windex or any kind of like souped up, jacked up spray that is very good on other household surfaces may be too strong, too potent for your displays that are a little bit more fragile and have coatings and screen protectors that could get damaged if you try to use too much of a, too strong of a cleaning spray. So ammonia free and streak free Windex, that's what I use. So this is a great, little extra, taking it to the next level as far as when you actually have visible smudges and streaks on your display, use the Windex. The next item, guys, that I use is this little guy right here, and it goes by different names, but the cool thing about this guy is that it's not big, it's portable, and basically the entire premise of this little gadget is it just blows out air. If you've ever used one of those canned air products that has pressurized air that when you press the button it just shoots out, this is basically the much safer, weaker version of that. But it's really good because, and I say weaker because obviously it's not pressurized. This is how you do it. You basically use your hand, you squeeze it, and the air just comes right out. Now what's cool about this is that depending on how hard you squeeze, you can vary the pressure. And this is good because some of your displays are fragile. So you want to be careful, some of your gadgets are fragile. You don't want to just blow pressurized air at a very strong pressure into a display or around the crevices of a display, just to avoid dust getting jammed into the little nooks and crannies of your device or your laptop or whatever. So this is a good product for that. The other thing is that sometimes those pressurized air cans, depending on how you hold it, it could potentially shoot, not air initially, but it could shoot out literally like liquid into your display. That has happened to me, not into my displays, but I have been cleaning around the house with it, and I have noticed that it shoots out like a little liquid that's like super cold liquid, and then it just turns to air. But be careful because you don't want to necessarily put that into your device. And like I said before too, you don't want to just be blowing the dust into the nooks and crevices of your device if you can avoid it. So with this little device, it's kind of like the a less potent version of that again doesn't ever run out of air, very convenient. They are, you could just reuse this, pack this in your bag, very easy to pack and take with you and transport. And again, it won't damage your device because you can easily control the pressure. It doesn't have any fluid, no danger of that. And this is also widely available online. I rarely see them in the grocery stores that I go to because this is kind of more like a specialty product. A lot of photographers use these to clean their cameras and their lenses. And by the way, this is a great way to clean the back of your iPhone lens. If you use your mobile, your smartphone to take a lot of video and pictures, this is a good way to, without touching the lens to get any kind of visible dust off of it. Just squeeze a little bit and you get the dust right off. So these 3 products, guys, are a great way to manage the cleanliness of your gadgets. They're cheap, affordable. I'll try to leave affiliate links for all of these in the video description down below. So with that said, guys, hope you got something out of this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Stay safe, guys.